All right, people, doing some demonstrations on our new screen paint technology. Yesterday, I was checking out the invisible technology, saying exactly where we're going to be working with that. That won't be coming out until 2026 because we got a lot of versions of that technology. For the screen paint, we only have one version of it, and that's basically about it. And it does an amazing job. All the testing we ran on this thing is absolutely incredible. I do want to do a solo demonstration of it on certified gunmetal and certified dark gray. That I definitely want to do. Let me go grab my certified sheets over here. These are certified dark gray, which I'm going to be doing soon. Let me turn this in my direction. Get off of that? We did. All right. So I'm going to be doing certified dark gray today. Trying to give Taco a chance not to get in any trouble. These are the light gray and whites, which we don't need to at all, period. All right, so I'm going to bring it back to the beginning. Probably get a commercial in there. Nope, no commercial. So good. Get my screen up. So this is our new screen paint. It's a screen paint kit. Wow, they just right off of that. Put it up there and start. Yeah, push it right off. It's a new screen paint kit that allow you to be able to convert your walls, motorized projection screens, fixed frame screens, just about anything you think of. We painted over cardboard boxes, we painted over plexiglass, we painted over mark boxes that you sure you didn't have to prime over. We painted over metal, just about anything you can possibly think of, you can coat. You can coat over glass, so not a problem whatsoever. It's a bleed-through process which allows it to bleed through any surface that can absorb, which means painting it on floors. You can do that with no problem. You can drag whatever over across the floors. Not going to crack or peel. It's fully weatherproof because we do have a field of weatherproofing screens. We have tons of demonstrations on that. So fully weatherproof, ultra short throw compatible, and as you've seen the demonstrations, next to gray and white screens, it can upgrade a gray screen at a rapid pace. I mean, 100% contrast. You'll see everything the gray screen can't read. The contrast, the colors, just everything. So, yeah, it's an amazing product. Like I said, very easy to apply, very easy to put down. No hard to understand, complicated instructions. I'm wondering, like, what is this? Is that me on my camera? Seeing something like right here on my camera. But it's definitely part of the screen. Oh my goodness, I'm looking at this like, wait a minute, because my screen's all black, the background is black, everything blends, everything cloaks. Oh, that's my stand. This is giving up a weird look on this end. Look, it's actually like it's a stripe across the camera, it's not. Alright, so as I said before, no complicated, no hard instructions. If you saw the paint down demonstrations, very easy to do, and no priming required. We even did a t-shirt, wrote over a t-shirt. Okay, so my projector is a Christie LW400. I paid only $50 for my projector. I'm definitely going to do a multi-screen setup on here again. Tilt that over, do it at a portrait mode, bring in a $10 projector and set that up. I want to do more demonstrations on that. And on top of that, we're going to be doing some demonstrations on certified. We've got certified dark gray, so that's certified dark gray, and certified gunmetal. These are the darkest screens we have. Comparison next to our technology, and every last one of them are certified. They're Daylight's technology. I saved these for last. So we're definitely doing that demonstration right after this one. All right, so what this technology does on a 720p projector sitting in factory settings in eco mode. lens clean. Sorry about this, people. Try to keep the lenses clean. There we go. Screens are designed to draw in a ton of light. Lighting in my environment is 24,000. So I say you're at 24,000 of light. I say yeah, we're at 24,000. That would explain when I came in here the headache. So I would explain a lot about the headache. I wear my glasses anyway. I literally have to wear these, and I wear sunglasses in here. I got my yellow frames back. Thought I lost them. I like these things. They work perfectly while I'm in here. It allows me to be to work. And I have to wear these because we have so much light in here. I don't mind because I've always wanted a really well-lit environment to be to test our products on. It's the best place to do it. The fact that we can get 300 lumens and 50 lumens on the table, and that's way closer to the light than where this screen is sitting at, and it still operate with no problem. And that technology over there, we've had that raised all the way up to the ceiling so the light can make direct contact with it. Yeah, this is the best place for testing. My new workshop, I'm definitely going to make sure I'm over this. I want to see if they can install 50,000 lumens into that setup. I want them on the walls. I want it like you walk into a giant microwave. I want light to be hit my screen from every angle. Because the more light we're in to design technology, and the better our technology becomes. And people do it the opposite way around. They stay away from as much light as possible, and then they mark it as ambient light controlled environment, which AKA means your customer is stuck in the dark. Any light added to that environment, boop, screen starts degrading itself. So this technology has an Infinity 1 contrast level, which means it reads a 100% black level no matter what projector you have. If your projector doesn't have the capability past the 2 million mark, you don't need it. You don't have to. This technology will allow you to have a contrast level higher than a P2. And we literally had this conversation in the room. We got over the those not possible. My goodness. Take the time, breathe first, and think. It's a black screen. It has no rating to it. That's what OLEDs have. OLEDs don't have ratings on those things because they're Infinity, because they're Infinity 1 technology, because there is no rating, because the screen is actually black. This screen is actually black. So that means it does not have a rating when it comes to the contrast. A projector would have that contrast rating. The only ones that would have it. So if you take a projector with 2 million to 1, you hit a white screen. Contrast levels are going to be okay. They're not going to be great, but it's going to be okay. Get a much darker screen, contrast starts to improve. You get an even darker screen like the one I got sitting over here, contrast gets a little bit better, but still it's not 100% black. Because you can't turn the lights on. The screen has to camouflage the darkness to do it. And it still doesn't pick up black in the dark, which I showed you against the gunmetal screen. Couldn't read a star field and a dark environment next to our screen. Black is black no matter how you look at it. So you don't pick up what you think you're picking up from your projector. And if you can't read 100% contrast, guess what else falls behind that? Color. Color is an important requirement, and black is very important for color. Because for some people sit there and say, well, we're picking up. No, you forgot about the dark levels. You have dark levels in your demonstrations, in your movies, in your films. You have dark greens, dark blues, dark purples, dark reds. You can't just opt those out. Got to include them all. See how the reds pop? See how the yellows pop, the green pop? 100% black level picks up in the background. That's how your screen is supposed to look. This is what you should be picking up. I got my sunglasses back on. It's going to be a sunny day. It's raining outside, but it's sunny in here. I think the sad thing about the industry and the customers today is the fact that the customers have been brainwashed to believe that the tradition is that the more money you spend on a high-powered projector, the better results. So the customer is stuck with spending thousands of dollars for a projector, thousands of dollars for a screen, just to be told that you're going to be in a dark environment regardless. You're going to be calibrating regardless. for something you just paid thousands of dollars for. I've been to forum sites. I go to forum sites every day. I have the same conversation there. I have it on YouTube. Can't not one of them sit there and say it's not true, because I'm sitting watching them in a dark environment with a $30,000 projector and a $20,000 screen. Why can't you turn your lights on? And then I get the whole entire excuse, the brainwash excuse. Well, you know, projectors are designed to be used in an ambient controlled environment that I have to optimize the room, blah, 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 blah. Same excuse every time. That's the problem. Customers hear the same nonsense. I heard the same nonsense when I first got my projector. That's why I know the nonsense, because I heard it myself. I didn't have the screen. I had my projector first. That's how I got the screen paint, because I wasn't happy with what they were telling me. You telling me I got to go calibrate a machine? I'm not calibrating that machine at the end of the day. You're telling me I got to be stuck in dark environments? I'm not being in dark. I came off 2 high performance monitors on a high grade PC I built. You think I'm going to sit there and be stuck in the dark after coming off 2 high end monitors? There's no way in the world I was taking that nonsense at the other. No. And you got to do better than that. But I realized that the more money I would spend, the better things would get. So I'm happy with my $60 projector. I'm happy with my, this thing has about 1,000 to 1 contrast. Perfectly fine. I can use HDMI or I can use VGA. Doesn't really make a difference to me. I'm happy with my 720p. So the customer out there, if they tell you have to be in these dark environments, it's a lie. They tell you have to have 4K, you have to have 1080p, it's a lie. It's because they're making you spend more money to fix their problem. Their screen doesn't work. That's why they're requiring you to have the expensive projector, all the bells and whistles, and still stick you in the dark because it still doesn't work. Now, any YouTuber out there, anyone, I don't care if you are a big influence, we don't care. Show me a demonstration on a projector you just purchased with that insane amount of contrast. Show me an environment, commercial. I don't want to be residential, I want commercial, because commercial is unforgiving in there. I want windows, the whole 9 yards. Show me a 100% star field. Show me that. Because that 1100 lumen challenge we put out, it's been there since 2019. We challenged everybody on that demonstration. Everybody. Did anybody respond back? Not one person. It's still up there on Google, requesting for anyone to do the same demonstration. And no one has actually answered that call yet. I'm going to post that to our site today and put down exactly what we've requested for everybody, the whole entire industry. Put down an industry on blast. Not one person, everybody. Saying if your products are that good, show me. Match and better the demonstration. It has never been matched. They call it the Google Challenge because it pops up all over Google. That shows you how far behind they are in their products.
It's called the heartbeat of America. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. And every Chevy.
The reason why they can't go anywhere they want, you know why? The screens can't read the contrast levels. When you can't read contrast, you can't pick any demonstration you want. You have to pick and choose the ones that are going to work well in your environment. You're going to have to darken the environment to try to get those to work well. You're going to have to calibrate to get the colors just right so that all works well. Spending money for more expensive projectors. There you go. You see the rat race? There you go. Can't do that. I can go anywhere I want. That's what the customer should be able to do. The problem is you can't go through the transition problem. The transition is where a screen can change. It can go from light to ultra black to colors to ultra black to light again. You can't do that. And if you can't transition on a projector, you paid over $2,000 for it. That is a big problem. A $2,000 projector is a lot of money. This is some good scenery. I see this kind of scenery, like scenery that changes, not the same boring forest again and again and again and again. Oh, I hate those. This is actually much more interesting. See how sharp that image pops up? Let me show you a little closer how sharp that comes up in a fully lit environment. On the ultra short though demonstration, we did it with a dull lamp. A lamp that was in the process of burning out. And we did it at 24,000 in the environment. We did it against certified. We did it against white screens. We did it against black paint. We did the angle gain from side to side. Shows it picks up, excuse me, my bad, on a dull lamp that's about to burn out. And it still was able to produce. I would say that's one of the better demonstrations I did with the ultra short though. At least we got a challenge out of that one. We consider ultra short though demonstrations to be extremely easy. Now, our kits that we have on the item, they're kits. I talked to a few people about kits. The 24 ounce was changed. Sorry, 20 ounce was changed to a 24. Price is still the same. We changed it to 24, which means now you do a 120 inch screen off that one. That comes with a 8x10 blackout cloth surface. Notice when you buy paint, you don't get blackout cloth. Do not give you that. You pay for that separately. And blackout cloths can be expensive. But we give you an 8x10 blackout cloth surface with that. We also give you the brackets, because we, like I said, I went through that where people can figure out what type of brackets, and we got your brackets already for you. With your screws, the whole 9 yards is all in the box. So we put a couple extra ones in there, just in case if you lose something, you got a couple more extra ones in there. That one goes for around $247. We have the 32 ounce that does up to 150 inch screen. It comes with a 10 by 20 surface. This is a big surface. Gives you plenty of play around room. It comes with the LED lights, the ones you're seeing underneath the screen right now, those rope lights. You get 20 feet of those. You get the brackets, you get frog tape with that. Those you want to paint on the wall, you want to paint on the wall, fixed frame screens, motorized projector screens, anything you use frog tape with, it's already in the box. That goes for around $362. We have the 64 ounces, the biggest kit we have. That comes with 40 feet of LED light. That's a lot of LED light. By the way, that LED light is actually weatherproof too, so if you want to take them outside, take them outside and have a ball with them. That also comes with 64 ounces, paints up to 180 inch screen. It has, let me see, 180 screen. It has brackets and it also has front tape. All shipping is free within the United States. We're still working it out, but we're talking back and forth with the United States Postal Service about are there particular countries that are being hit with this? Or is it all of them? So we need to find out. So now we got to go through this whole list and figure out what countries are on the list and what countries are not on the list. We got to figure it out. So this is going to take about a day or two to figure that out. But until then, we can't ship overseas. But once we get it all figured out, we'll mark the different countries that we can ship to and put those up. Sorry for the inconvenience. I've been shipping overseas for years. I've never ran into anything like this ever. Never. Never ever. We ship to England all the time. I got ties in England. So I know there's a problem here. Something popped up. Some policy that was changed. But anyway, you already know who.
This is Nissan Margiela Replica Never Ending Summer. The keynotes in this fragrance.
Gonna be rolling over a cheap motorized projection screen real soon. I'm donating it to a church. So we're gonna bring in a $70 motorized projection screen, knock it out in minutes. Dry it, display it. Show a couple movies off of it, put it against a couple of certifies, roll it up, roll it back down, roll it up, roll it back down, roll it up, roll it back down. We usually do in demonstrations anyway, and send it up to a church. You can have it. got a local church over here. We're giving spring. No, just to add, these containers have very special packaging attached to them. We're not showing you that. Only people that see that are people that's being shipped to. There's some special stickers on that thing. Only our company has those stickers. Can't duplicate them in any way whatsoever. If you do, get a copyright strike on you from our company, which means we'll basically come after you. Copyrighted stickers that have a certain special logo on them. So if they're duplicated in any way, well, you know what happens after that. Mind you, we have 2 copyrights. For the symbols we have for those companies, a buddy of mine was talking to me, he said, hey, you know what? You could put that symbol on your containers. It's yours, it's your copyright, and put it there. So all containers now have that particular symbol on it. It's a cube sits on it. It's a little small symbol that sits on it, says a cube. That's where we started from with black, but not black tech with that, but that's where we started engineering with the new company with Crystal Edge. So it has an anniversary edition Crystal Edge sticker on it that basically has that cube on it, and that cube has a copyright. So in order for you to have one of those containers, you have to have that cube on the side of it, which means if you duplicate that sticker, you're looking at some serious jail time. And you can't say you got it from a customer because every single one of those containers are barcoded. You know exactly who and where they go from. Anything that comes through has a certain barcode. You can read exactly. When you hit that thing, boop, everything pops up. Oh, you thought you were going to be able to do some dumb demonstrations. I told you, I've got people all ready to go. They're waiting. The minute something pops up, guess what? You get a black letter from us. Because you didn't order it from us. And there's no way you got it from a customer. If you got it from a customer, it would be to track that container down. Keep in mind, if you cover the container up and do a fake demonstration or whatever you mix in it, we can track down every single container, which means when we bring you to court, they're going to request that container. If you say you don't have it, then guess what? You're guilty. So you better bring the container with you when we bring you to court. If you duplicate the container, you duplicate that label, that little imprint on the side that has a copyright sitting on top of it, you're looking at copyright infringements. And let me take you to federal court for those. Isn't that interesting? See how the Lord gives us the information to be able to get things, our stuff protected? Man, I'm telling you something. If these idiots are as dumb as we think, we're going to make a lot of money off of them. A lot of money in lawsuits off. So we're expecting, if you claim to have it, see the entire container. You don't see that entire container, you get a lawsuit coming your way. And no cease and desist order, straight up lawsuit. See you in federal court, sue you for a couple $1 million, and you'll definitely get possible jail time. If a customer bought it for the sake of sending it to them, mind, there's a batch number sitting on these things. Everything was tested before it shipped out. Everything was tested before it sold to the customer. Everything's backed up. So it's virtually impossible to get around any of it. So good luck. I just want you to do one thing. Look around your environment, your house, your cars, your banking account, all that. Do you want to keep it? Go outside, touch the grass, hug a tree, whatever. Do you want to keep that freedom? Because if you decide to do what you think you're going to do, I got people already lined up. I'll take everything from you, including your freedom. And you deserve it. Because who is stupid enough to do something that dumb? See, the problem is that people look at me at the end of the day and think, oh, at the end of the day, he's just some YouTuber. He don't know what he's doing at the end of the day. That's the biggest mistake people make. Then they realize exactly how well we are connected, what we know, what we do. Then they figure it out, oh, we messed up. Never judge a book by its cover. You'd be surprised. That's what the other one thought at the end of the day. We proved them, we don't play around with that kind of nonsense in the day. But yeah, these containers got a special anniversary edition cube on them. And that cube is copyrighted. Doesn't make a difference what we use the cube for. It's on copyrights. Anything we stick that thing to, automatically has enough copyright attached to it. Because it's our cube. It's part of our company. The pretty monkeys. Awesome. Let's see what we got on this reel. We got to put that out there because you got people do dumb stuff at the end of the day. That's why. But I'm pretty sure probably roughly, I don't know, somewhere between maybe this summer, whatever, we're going to end up suing somebody new. And we hear the same excuse in court, the same thing, the same excuses. I don't have the money. I can't afford it. I can't go to jail. I got a job. I got a family. You thought about that if we did that dumb nonsense. Maya, I can't explain this to you enough. I really can't. Once we hit a courtroom, there is no mercy. We come at you full throttle because you should know better. You're an adult at the end of the day. That's how we see it. You are an adult. You have maybe a family or whatever. You should know better. So we're hitting everything with maximum saying. We have to use you as an example. And to use you as an example, they're going to hit you with everything. Don't do dumb stuff. You know the difference between not doing dumb stuff and not doing dumb stuff. You walk into a bank with a loaded gun and a ski mask. You do dumb stuff like that. You know what happens if you walk in and do that, right? Maybe you might die in a hail of bullets. Maybe you'll get arrested. You go to jail. You'll be in a high-speed chase. You're definitely going to jail. What do you think is going to happen? And you're going to think it's going to be like the movies. You go in there and do some Motel 11 with Ocean 11's nonsense, and you go in there and you end up in a hotel with a whole bunch of money and nobody knows. Oh, get out of here with this nonsense, man. We live in a digital age. How many cameras you walk through in a day? It's insane. I had a camera detector, and the camera detector picks up when there's cameras in the area. My goodness, that thing went off like crazy. You're walking past cameras every day. You ever look up? Look up one day. Just take a look up. There's cameras posted in every single city block. There's cameras up there. And if you think that camera can't see you from there, it can. That's face recognition software. It can zoom in and lock on your face and run a scan and figure out everywhere your face picked up on any camera in that section of that city. That's how advanced those cameras are. People don't realize that. You're being tracked the entire time you walk through a city. You're definitely being tracked. Some of those cameras can share information. Yeah. I learned that. I used to install security cameras. Got into that field many years back, and then I realized how intelligent these cameras were. I was like, good gracious. Yeah. Same thing when I tell people, when you take a picture of your face on your cell phone, and you put your fingerprint in there, yeah, you're now part of the system now. You know, that system can pick up and track whatever. Put all your information in there. I never do that. PayPal tries to get me from time to time. They want me to log into my account, and they'll say, "We need your thumbprint." I'm like, "Nope, I'm not doing that. We need your, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm doing the same way you've been always doing it. Put the password in, be done. I don't do that fingerprint. I don't do that face recognition crap. No way in the world. No. It's bad enough you walk by and you're being tracked every time you walk through. But yeah, people walk through, they don't notice it every day. I sit out there, watch the commute, people walking back and forth, and don't realize that all those cameras are lined. Go look one day. All those cameras are lined over top of you, and those cameras, you think because they're way up there, they can't see you? Why would you put a camera that far up if you can't see what's going down on the street below? They must be able to see it. There would be no point putting the camera up there. You can see more than you think. They can see inside your car. So if you're in your car and it's a possible way they can hit one of those windows, they can see you. You got cameras that sit there in the middle of traffic lights that can pick you up right in the middle, whether you're eating fries or whatever you're doing in your car. You get that picture they send to you, like, what the freak? They can see they can see the color of your shirt. And mind you, you're traveling at a high speed, it can still pick you up. Yeah, be surprised. I had a buddy work security in one of the buildings over there. And I was there like, how far does that thing zoom in? He said, man, I can read the freaking side of your door if I want to. I can see your gas tank, man. I can see your packages inside your car. I can see whether you shaved or not that day. The cameras are super advanced. Yep. You're tracked pretty much all day. All day. But if you're not doing anything dumb or stupid, then who cares? That's what I say. The only scary thing about that, I'll tell you that much, that's really scary. People play around, they have fun with it. Is that AI to be able to do that whole face lifting, put someone's face someplace else. That's scary. That's very, very scary. That's the only thing that bothers me, is just that. I tell you, man, I go back and look at all the movies I saw back in the day. And it's like everything they were in those movies were telling us stuff was going to happen today. It's crazy. If you ever saw, I don't know what movie that was, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he was in a helicopter and the guy opened fire on a crowd of people and they blamed him for it. Running Man. It was Running Man. Yeah. And he did a digital scan and they put his face on because they were trying to get rid of him. And they put his face on the guy who did the shooting and blamed him for it, and he ended up in this jail. And now today we have that technology. Face recognition software. But to a point that anyone can use it. He got framed and no one believed him. And I thought that was crazy. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's crazy. We're going to have that technology one day? That's insane. Like, that's not even possible. Or watching RoboCop. When I saw RoboCop, and I saw Clarence Bonnaker come in, and he was talking to one of the guys from the CEO. He put out that little tiny disc. Man, everybody was blown away because at the time we didn't even have the CD. I don't think CDs were out. I remember when CDs came out, I had my first CD player. I remember that, Public Enemy. It sounded so crystal clear. But I remember he put that little tiny disc, or put on that disc, what they call DVD disc, digital video disc. That's what they're calling now, because GameCube uses it. But that little disc he pulled out, man, the crowd was blown away. Like, oh my goodness, where'd he get that from? That little disc? He got a little disc. Man, that movie back. People were blown away by that. And now, they had him on GameCube. Little tiny disc. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Really, really interesting. What was it? Another one I saw that they already predicted, like something we're going to have now. Twins, the Hitman, had an automatic shotgun that took a cartridge. Everybody's blown away from that. When you put the cartridge in and cocked it, and I was like, what in the world? Because usually the old shotgun, you just load them in. I hate that in the video game because you're running from zombies, you're loading them one at the neck, and zombies running up on you, keep loading, you gotta cock it. But now you put the clip in, drums in now, and you're like, in the movies, in Twins was way back, you're like, what in the world? What kind of gun was that? I've never seen a shotgun take a clip before. That's insane. And now we got them. What kind of deal is Hollywood strike up to get stuff like already before years before anybody else gets it? Which is crazy. So that's just fine. This is kind of some of the things I've seen in movies that I've now seen out today that we have access to. 4K is no screensavers. Nope. Let's try it again. 4K snow screensavers. I just think that's pretty interesting. Yep, there's our white levels. This is the whole theory behind black screens and white levels, right? Black screens are not supposed to be able to produce high white levels in very highly lit environments because they have a hard enough time trying to generate white light themselves. Let enough deal with the high power lighting you have in the environment. So usually when you see blacker screens, they're in what you call ambient light controlled environments so they can reach higher white levels. And then they require high-end projectors with high lumen counts to bring those white levels out. We're at 25 on our projector in eco mode, and again we have a rough 24,000 over top of our heads right now. So for some people saying, how do we get to 24,000? Well, each one of those rods are 3,000 lumens. We have 4 of them for each pod. There's 12,000 in each pod, which makes it equal. 2 of them is 24,000. That's what we have. I didn't realize we had literally that much light in the ceiling. I was looking at the rods and I was like, I wonder how much each one of them. You can actually feel the temperature go up. I mean, the temperature rises in here if those lights are on, including with the projector, even in eco mode. And I found there were 3,000. I was like, wait, there are 3,000? We have 4 of these per each pod. We have we have 4 for each pod. So that's 6,000 for this side and 6,000, which is 12. 12 and 12 is 24. Of course, we all know that, right? And that equals to 24,000 lumens that are sitting here on top of my head. There's more light in the ceiling than my projector produces right now. So imagine this projector is traveling from A to B at 500 lumens, and it's doing over 24,000 that's striking it right now. And the projectors we have sitting on the table at 300 and one's 50, they're basically losing 10 times more because they don't even have they have 1,000 connected to them. They're at 300. Their lumen count drops. So I had one person say, well, it doesn't change. Oh my goodness. See, this is the reason why some people should not be on forum sites. First things first, it's virtually impossible. If you start off with 1,000, you don't end with 1,000. It doesn't even work. People do that, make that mistake when they buy a projector. They think, okay, I got a 3,000 lumen projector. I'm going to have 3,000 beginning to end. No, you won't. You're going to have way less than, you know how much light tears away at the lumen count? It destroys it dramatically. The reason why you have 3,000 lumens is because depending on how much light you may have in the environment, if you're going to be in the dark all the time, 3,000 lumens is not even necessary. This is pointless. This is a waste of money. You can operate at 300 lumens. You can operate at 500 lumens. You can operate at 1,000. You can run 1,000 lumens easy. If you're going to be in the dark all day long, 1,000 lumens is perfect. You don't need anything higher than 1,000. Now, if you're talking about being in a well-lit environment, this is where your lumen count is going to come in that you're going to need. Because you're going to lose lumens. By the time you're traveling from A to B, if you're using long throw especially, your lumen count is going to start to drop dramatically before you make it to the screen. That's the problem you're going to have. And even if you're able to make it to the screen, maybe at a minimum of 2,000 lumens, your screen's still going to have to pick up 100% contrast, recolor, and the white levels all at the same time. If not, you're going to get one of those washed out images staring you back in the face. So whole party that goes on back and forth. That's the reason why they give you 3,000, because you're going to use it in the fully lit environment. Other than that, you're going to be in the dark all day long. You're not going to be anywhere near 3,000. If you look at the older projectors back then, none of them projectors had 3,000 lumens. Those projectors had like 2,200 lumens, 1,000 lumens, 900 lumens. That's all they were. If you look at the Sony projectors, the Sony VPLs, the Bravos never had anywhere, they didn't have anywhere near close to 1,000. The highest one they had was 900 lumens. Look at the older projectors, the ones, the Bravos, the Sonys, the real big ones. They were 900 lumens. You're like, who the freak would have a 900 lumen? Because a lot of people weren't doing ambient light rejection technology was invented at that time. A lot of people were still in these dark environments. You don't need no 3,000 lumens if you're going to be in the dark. And then you got these ultra short throws at 3,000, no distance or whatsoever. right next to against the screen, and most of those are in the dark. Why is a 3,000 lumen projector sitting in the dark that's kissing the screen? Because the screen don't work. That's why. That's why the projector's in there. The screen doesn't work. That's why you're in there. What happens if you turn your lights on your projector? Color washes out. Contrast washes out. The only thing that remains is your white levels. Again, like I said, for those people who disapprove on that, if you disapprove on that, do me a favor, do a video and show me. You can put my name on it, I don't mind. Put my name on it, show me. Show me a demonstration of your projector in a fully lit environment. And I want no meter readings in there at all. I want max out environment. Show me your color levels, show me your contrast levels, the whole 9 yards. 100% black you should be to read in that environment if your screen does not fail your projector. I bet you won't find one. If anything, I'll find a bunch of insults, crybabies, that's basically about it. But I bet you won't find one. Show me, anyone on YouTube. Give me that challenge right now. You can mark the video with my name on it. Show me your projector, you paid all that money. I want to see, not lights off and then put the projector, I want to see fully lit environment. Hey, throw it next to a window. Show me a 100% star field. And then I want a 100% black screen. Show me it. Show me why you paid all that money for your so-called contrast at the end of the day. I could do a white level in mine. I could do a white level against black paint, black fabric, whatever. I can do it in a fully lit environment. I can do it inside. I can do it outside. Ultra stricto, pico projectors, you name it, venue, whatever. I can drop it down to factory settings. I can put it in eco mode. I can still pick up a white level. What about you when it comes to a black level? That's something you have to prove at the end of the day. Can you read that level? We can do it. Do it all day. And I haven't seen these demonstrations yet. So let me see one. Do I have to go post to a forum site? Because I will go into a forum site and post that challenge. And I'll point it and direct it right toward YouTube. I want to see this. I want to see this massive 2 million to 1, 3 million to 1, 5 million to 1 contrast. Show me what you got. Because contrast doesn't mean jack if you're sitting in the dark. And yet no one will take that challenge. You know why? Because they know right. You can go up as high as you want in your projector. You go 5,000 on your projector, you're washing your screen out 10 times faster. You got a stressful level. You got 5,000 lumens, 3,000 lumens striking the screen in an environment that the screen is already having an issue with already. I can take a cell phone, flashlight, and wash your screen out on a Starville in the dark. So it just tells you from the door, your stuff don't work. Every time I see some demonstration, whether it be influence or whatever, the same nonsense, the same dark environment. We got projection screens blocking windows. We need to close in the blinds while the projection screen is blocking the window. And they say, look, we're in an ambient lit environment. I'll show you an ambient lit environment. Let me get my hands on your product. I'll show you ambient lit. Gee whiz, come on now. And then the customer, who suffers from it? The customer suffers from it because the customer buys it, gets it home, turns on its lights and goes, here we go. The customer suffers from that. You've already made your money. The customer already paid you already. The customer's going to go home, turn his lights on. Its contrast not going to pull. Its colors are going to be washed out. He's going to turn the lights off. He's going to see a better improvement. He's going to realize that I got to be in the dark now. Until he pops up and sees one of our videos, and he can go outside and play after that. Forget being inside. You can go outside and play. All you influencers and people on YouTube showing off screen painters struggling inside, struggling. And my customers go outside to play. You can't open up a window on one of those screens, your screen will disappear. You pull a Houdini on everybody. Oh, that's a good term for it. They pull the Houdini. Yeah, you got the Houdini going on. That's my new line, that's mine. Houdini. The screen did what? It pulled a Houdini. It disappeared. Abracadabra, hocus pocus, goodbye. That's pretty much what it is. And for the customers, at the end of the day, they're the ones that get ripped off. Because when they contact you and tell you at the end of the day, hey, look, well, that's kind of jacked up when you think about it. You're just, you know, your batch number. There's no batch number on this stuff. So how are you going to fight your claim customer? What are you going to do? You buy a screen paint, and the screen washes out on you because you open up two windows. You done turned your wife or girlfriend's living room that they decorated into a cave. You can't turn any of those lights on. Your screen will wash out. And that gray that pops up on the screen when the menu's supposed to be black, you're dealing with that nonsense. So with that being said, what are you going to do? You're going to go to a forum site and ask a lot of questions, and they're going to tell you to calibrate, and you probably never calibrated in your day in your life, but now you're going to have to learn it, fix that mess, whatever's going on in that. And even after you do figure out some way to fix it, you're still going to be stuck in the dark because they don't generate fully lit environments. So you're still back to square one. Maybe they'll advise you to spend more money for a projector. Maybe that'll fix it. But then the higher the lumen count, the more damage you'll do to the screen. It'll be too bright. Can't absorb, as we showed you on the desk. What's the next step? Buy more contrast. That's still more money out of your pocket. You just paid for screen paint. You just paid for a projection screen. Why are you paying for more stuff? To fix something that you already bought that you thought was going to fix the problem to begin with. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Our customers don't have that issue. That's why my customers are outside, watching movies and watching sea turtles swim through the ocean and all that other cool stuff. Because they didn't have to buy anything else. They bought our technology and that was the end of it. So if you can't do what I'm doing right now in this demonstration on YouTube, it shows that your product does not work. Look at my white levels right there. Now, you can get online and say, hey, we got white. We don't care about the white levels on a gray screen. Show me that contrast number. Show me something your screen can't do. So this technology, if I show you a star field, you can do a star field all day long. It's black. Show me something your screen is not designed to do. And what it's not designed to do is to read contrast and fully lit environments. Show me what you got. I'm so sick and tired of seeing this mess. I see people try to camouflage colors. They use basically in areas that are well lit, they use dark, more like light grays, tans. These are colors that fade less, that show less fading. You ever notice that? I've seen it all the time. And you get it home, what you want to do? You're going to put colors on it, and contrast. You're going to do the whole 9 yards. And they know you're going to do that. Yep. You know where they got you at? I'm going to tell you what they got you on. The paint return policy. So the paint return policy is the same thing. Like you use it, you know what I mean? You can't return it. Certain items can't be returned once you use it. You know, like mouthwash, toothpaste, anything like that. You know what I mean? Something that you can't return back in the original form in which it was sent to you, you can't return it that way. And they will use that policy against you in court. But the policy you can use against them in court is your stuff was never tested. And you can request for all the tests on their product before they sold it to you. I bet you they forfeit. That's why you go with batch number verification guarantees, because that's what we have. Make sure that product is tested. You know, if you bought a screen paint from that individual who matched house paint, say he did a batch number. Say that video was an actual batch number. You watch that product match that network grade 773. Was you still went out and bought it? No, you wouldn't have bought it at all, period. You went out and bought the network grade 773 because it was cheaper and you can get more of it. That's what you would have bought. Mine, he did it on a 4K laser projector. He did it on a P2 and it matched. So, what would you do? Would you go out and buy $90 for a quart or go out and spend $30 for a gallon? It's the same thing. If you saw that happen in a batch number, which means you would have been able to see that product before it was shipped to you. Instead of going back to his site and seeing some policy that read, hey, guess what? If you open up the container, no exchange. If you used it, no exchange, no money back. If it lands on your property, no money back, no exchange. You got it right there on the site. It's written right there. There's a backwards policy. Because he knows you're going to figure out what he knows. That's why that policy's up there. Can he do a ship back for you? Have you send the item back? And have you tested YouTube Live so everybody can see it? No, because they'll be going through the same process you went with the network rate. He's not trying to do that ever again. That's why the batch numbers are important. That gain range nonsense, telling people your screen's going to produce 2 different gains if you paint it in a different direction, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. What guarantee you have at the end of the day, if that doesn't work, you can get your money back? Or in exchange for something that maybe that could actually do it. Where's the guarantee on that? There's none. At all. Is there a batch number showing him actually producing 2 gains on the screen? Anything there? No, nothing at all. So how do you know you're going to be able to do this when you get a product? There you go. That's why batch numbers are important. That's why when we're doing batch numbers, the other fellow try to come in and try to degrade the batch number as much as possible. Try to destroy the reputation of the batch number. Mr. Fernando, let me explain something to you. Batch numbers have been around longer than you've been on this earth. Companies have been using them for decades. Crack a book every once in a while, do some research, and learn something new. Because if you crack the book, you'll realize that all companies, the majority of most companies, use these particular batch numbers. They're using the symbols, they have all different kinds of codes on them, so that way they can back up products. A lot of your stuff had those little codes on them. That's what they're for. It's called batch number verification. And any courtroom, we go before a judge, we'll look this up on Google and it'll verify this is actually a real thing. That companies do them from time to time. So you try to discredit that. The reason why you try to discredit that, so that way you can continue to rip people off, because that means you won't have to do it. If people feel that that particular option of protection for paint is flawed, then you can continue to rip people off. But it's not, Mr. Fernando. And you'll find out when we get to court on that, when we challenge your company, and also too on the batch number verifications that you violated 3 times. But anyway, you want a batch number guarantee. You want that product tested. Now, the reason why they can't test the product and they can't give you the batch number, because the product was never tested to begin with, because that's what involves the verification process. You'll have to be to show something that you already did again. They can't do it on a ship back. You know why? Because the ship back requires you to do the test again. And that's why. Whoops, we have bumped our stand, ladies and gentlemen. We have bumped our stand. But that's what that requires. So if you never tested the product right, how can you do the verification? And if you didn't test the product, how can you do a ship back policy? And if you haven't done the testing, most importantly, as a company for that individual, how can you protect yourself in court? You can't. You're just out in the open. That's pretty much. A giant bullseye on you. That's what it looks like. You know, their shipping policy, which I read through, very, very poorly done. One of them never even had an act of God. You have to have an act of God policy in there. He didn't even have a timeline shipping for larger orders. Say a company comes and says, I want freaking 80 gallons, you know, like 80 gallons. They have to give you so many days in advance before they can put down 80 gallons on top of your head, because that can cause you a lot of problems. And say you already spend the money to complete the 80 gallons, but you didn't get it out on time for the due date. It means they can hit you for that. And you'll still have to pay back that money, even though you put resources in for it. So it gets very hairy in those situations. So you have to put all those policies down there. We had no policy in there for COVID. We did. We had policies in there. We still got policies in the show through COVID for there. It's still in there. So policies are still in there. We had a snail mail policy. There was a COVID policy, which means that when the mail was running so slow, some people had a lot of products that were in delay. So what we did was we made a snail mail policy, which means if your package actually a certain time that was past the date was supposed to be shipped out, then we would go in, contact United States Postal Service, try to figure out, because we paid for detailed tracking. When you apply with your business account, which they don't have, and you get an official post office business account, not a residential account, you get special perks. And one of the perks is being able to track a package anywhere it goes. And that's what we had. And we're tracking these packages. So say this package is snailing. Say it's somewhere just stuck. Then we ship you out another one for free. If the other one gets there, you keep both of them. It's right there in our policy, right there. Mind you, the guy couldn't spell delivery correctly. I kept showing him how to spell it correctly, and he just left it there. Pretty sure other people told him the same thing. But anyway, yeah, none of those policies were in there. And the act of God needs to be in there. Say you're shipping something overseas, or you're shipping something here, whatever, blah, 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 and a tornado, hurricane, God forbid, something pops up, and everything gets delayed, and your stuff is just sitting out there in limbo, and they don't reach their due date. You're responsible for that now. You can say, well, I don't have any control over tornadoes or whatever. That's true, you don't. But you don't have the policy in your website, and therefore, if you have your website, you're reliable for that. There is a ton of information that you need to have in there for yourself. You need to have in there for your customer. Right now, we're on the site If we notice that our name, and it'll always change his name again. No, actually, my name is matching my search engine optimizer because unlike you don't know how to work your website. I know how to work my website. And on my website, the search engine optimizer needs to match every single thing that we transfer in and out of the website, which means the name of the YouTube channel, everything has to be in sync with that search engine. So you don't know anything about that because you don't even know how to work your own website. Because I've seen the stuff you did on your website, you don't even know how to control it. You don't even know how to work it at all. SKU numbers, no. I told you before that the original template that comes with your when you first get your website, you have a template pops up, gives you an idea. Now some people, they wipe it clean. I wipe mine clean if I want to put my own stuff on there. That's how I do mine. Some people don't. They get lazy. And what they'll do is they'll go in and take out that spot which says we're an excellent company. It could be like IGR. It's an excellent company. We stand behind our products 100%. It's like original speech. Everybody knows what it says over and over again. So they'll take out IGR and remove that, and they'll put their name in there instead and leave it that way. Yeah, but the problem is that anyone's ever built sites on that website or any other site, know that they're on turkey sites or any other site you've been at, they would know that particular, line that they use to put on a template. And they know this is a template. They know it's not yours. They know you wanted to plagiarize it, just took out what you want to put in, and that's basically about it. So you didn't do it. You were just too lazy to just do your own. And then the SKU numbers, which we did on that one, we basically copied and pasted, and SKU numbers popped up on the original templates, which means he never changed them. He kept them the same. He's selling screen paint, and the SKU numbers are picking up clothing, hat, and barbecue chicken. You got it right there on the page. He just doesn't care. But when you do your shipping policy, let me see. Demos about us. You see how our navigation bar has all this information in here? They don't have anything close to this. We got backups, under backups that pop up from underneath of this. Ouch. Mother George. You got to do all that work, man. You got to do it work. And every time you do a page, you go into your search engine optimizer, you put any pictures, any videos in, you got to put in tags and then each one of what that's about, explain what the pictures are about, what the videos are about, put the description in. You got to put all that information in for everything. That's a lot of work you got to do. People sat there and watched me do 4 hours, 5 hours a day knocking out on a website. So you're going to have that done. They don't do that for you. That's why you don't pop up anywhere. Let me see. So yeah, that shipping policy is supposed to be freaking huge. Let me see what we have here. Here it is, the shipping policy. This is literally how big my shipping policy is. It's huge. You have to have overseas shipping. You have to have freight shipping. All that's got to be in there. So what he was doing, he was going to our website. He's a thief, man. And he was stealing our pictures. He stole customer pictures. He stole specification sheets. He stole shipping policies. He stole just copying and pasting just to whatever he wanted. Which is sad, because when you do stuff like that, you know what I mean, you can't back that stuff up to begin with. This is how big shipping policies are. Free shipping, certified mail, that stuff has to be done in there. Signature, permission slips. We made those up. Those are our permission slips, but you should definitely have that. If you don't have permission slips, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Or the certified mail, let me see, damage or delivery, peace of mind, about porch pirates. We have stuff in there for signature confirm, which is fantastic. If you're dealing with porch pirates, signature confirm is free. You just have to ask for it. Say, I want signature confirm. We take care of it. It's already paid for. No more shipping policies about overseas shipping, about dealing with the whole tracking numbers disappearing and all that stuff, problems we've been having. That was updated in there. Shipping time and delivery 2 to 3 in the U.S. or business days. You got to put down business days because some people expect for Saturday and Sunday to be a ship out day, and no, it's business days. Sometimes we do ship out on Saturday, but most likely it'll be Monday. All that information has to be put in there. You can't just think the customer knows this. You have to put that in if the customer needs to know this. All right. All orders are tracked by United States Postal Service tracking information. Please note orders can be delayed due to slow shipping for our products due to COVID-19. There's already a COVID-19 policy in these things right now because we had all that embedded in there. We got to put more videos in here based on how we process orders. We're going to put those in there. Free signature confirm. Yes, this is free to confirm. It's basically proving the date and time, delivery, attempted delivery, name of the person who signed for the team. All that's put in there. This is to help you out. It also has a link for the United States Postal Service. It also has an 800 number. We can reach out and contact somebody about if you have a signature confirm and they leave that little tag on the door. You can go to our site and look all that up and go there and read and whatever and contact whoever. This will help you out right there. Show you where to go. All right, correct shipping address and change of address right here. Well, for correct shipping address, please know we are not responsible for addresses that do not match PayPal. I literally have gone through this multiple times. We'll have people that will go in, I don't know how they're doing business, but their address, maybe they moved, does not match the same address on that credit card. What happens is that when your order comes through, we ship it to whatever comes up on the order. That's where it goes to. It's your job to go in to your credit card or institution and bank and change the address so the packages go directly to you. I literally had somebody blame me and say, hey, this is your fault because the package went here. I'm like, how would it be my fault? I don't own your credit card. That's your credit card. It's your job to update all that information so items go where they need to go. There you have that conversation. How would that be possible? I have no idea. All right, let me see. Or financial institution account, this falls fully on the responsibility of the behalf of the buyer or buyers. Let's see. Policy of address change. It's called a permission slip. Very important to have one of these. You know why? Because what happens is if a customer moves, say they move, right? And they go, oh, shoot, I ordered a package. We're going to move in pretty soon. I got to contact this guy and see if he can send it here. Now, still on his PayPal account, it may say his old address is on there, but he wants me to ship it to that address. I got no problem with going and editing the address so it goes to your proper address. But we need a permission slip from you. We need you to send us back an email saying, hey, I give this guy full permission to send it to this address and put the address where it goes to. You know why? Because something happened in Madagascar that maybe now designed the shipping policy many years back. The permission slip, because we shipped an item to Madagascar, and if it weren't for the fact that I didn't email him back, I'd have lost $1,500. So it's we charge him $1,500. He got this huge screen, he got a gallon of paint, and he got a Sony VPL FA30 projector because I had a pallet of it and I sold him as package deals. So when we got the FedEx, and my ex had an excellent discount, so we're using the discount because it was much cheaper than going to the United States Postal Service and charge me a whole lot of money for that, and because the box is huge. We go over there and the woman says, well, we can't ship this out, thank goodness, because there's no address to send this to. They have hubs up there. I don't know if it changed now, but there was a HUD A, HUD B. We need to know which one this is going to. So I contacted the guy. This is what saved my neck, and I said, hey, look, we can't ship it to your address. There's a pickup area we need to have it sent to. Which one do you want me to send to, HUD or A or HUD B? And he said, yeah, you can send it to HUD A. That'll be perfect. I'll pick it up from there. All right now. I didn't think anything of this, all right? This guy's a preacher, by the way, so I don't think nothing of it. We send it through FedEx. It goes to the hub it's supposed to go to. About a week later, I'm missing $1,500 out of my account. I'm like, what the freak just happened? I looked down, I had a complaint file about me. Did not receive. They said they never received it. Never got it. I'm like, what do you mean they didn't receive it? I said, you gotta be kidding me. I'll go back to FedEx, we go through it, I'll go to FedEx, get the information, and we find out that he signed for the package because we put signature, he had to sign for it, get the sign for it over there. We have his signature showing that he signed for the package. Shouldn't that be enough, right? It's not enough by PayPal standard. PayPal will only honor that if the address, the package was shipped to the address that was on the receipt. That's it. Doesn't make a difference if you sign for it, put his thumbprint on it, put a drop of blood, maybe a crescent with some wax and some ring at the end of the day, like some medieval craziness. No, it has to match the address that's on the slip. unless I can show that he gave us permission to send it to where I said the hub A. That's the only way I'm going to win the claim. And guess why I won the claim? Because we had to ask him, because there were two that popped up. Keep in mind, if there was one that popped up and they sent it to that one, he would have got me. Because I didn't ask him. I wouldn't have to ask him. It was one, but because there were two. See how God watches over you? Because there were two of them that popped up, I couldn't figure out which one to send it to. I had to ask him back. So I sent PayPal back the original email of him having the conversation, and email put the money back in my account. Because it showed that he requested to be shipped at address when he told PayPal in the transcripts that he never requested to be sent there, only his address. Now, I don't know if he's running some scam that's going on with PayPal, whatever, but yeah, after that he got banned. Definitely got a ban. We don't do business with that individual, and haven't since then. So yeah, that's what happened when we shipped to Madagascar. So they say, oh no, this one person's an idiot over there. That's pretty much it. You can't blame an entire country. We just banned him. He's done. But anyway, yeah, that's what happened. So then from there, I said, no, that's it. I'm asking for permission slips. So that's what that permission slip policy is for. So if you move and you don't want to go into the address, you want me to go in and edit it, the email, edit the shipping address, all you got to do is just send me an email, give me permission with the address you want it sent to, and we can go and edit it, and we're good. That's what the permission slip is for. That's why in business, you learn. You've been in business long enough, you will learn things as you go away, the do's and don'ts. Snail mail policy. Told you we had one in there. It's a snail mail policy. It's right in there. Exchange the limit of time. If it exceeds the limit of time of the 2 to 3 business days, and after a thorough investigation, if your package shows no sign of movement, we will begin the process of shipping you out a new order. Now, I find it interesting that we have one of the biggest shipping policies that cover everybody, but we're the ones that are scammers? Really? If I put my shipping policy up versus everybody else, how many people want to match mine? You don't even have close to anything what I have in here. Even eBay don't even have what I have on my shipping policy. My shipping policy is so immaculate. We explain to PayPal the batch number verification, ship back, all that. They love it. They love it. I'm hoping they incorporate batch numbers into everything. I would freaking love to see that. Let's see, free shipping. This is a very important one right here for free shipping, because some customers may want you to ship it by FedEx. They want you to ship it by UPS. But what happens is when you ship by FedEx and UPS, this becomes expensive due to the fact that you're not getting that flat rate shipping. UPS and FedEx do zones. So a zone here in Texas may cost you $40, but a zone over here in California may cost you $80. Either way, it takes away from your profit. We only ship by United States Postal Service only. If you decide that you want to go by another carrier, then you pay for the shipping. Let's see. We usually, most people I got at the end of the day, if people come in, they want the item right away, they just pay for overnight shipping. They don't care. They want it over there, when it's done, they pay for it. So we're good with it. We never had a customer argue about it, ever. Never had a complaint about that one, ever. Business order policy. Business order policy is processing time for 5 gallons. So if someone was 5 gallons, which now we have to up that 2 to 3 business days. Anything else, we have to know in advance. 2 to 3 business days. Anything larger, 5 to 7 or longer, depending on the size of the order. Please note, due to COVID, materials, and that's a COVID policy in there. Materials are designed and products may delay, which still you have to have all that in there. All right, batch number verification. It's right there in red writing. It tells exactly. Batch number verification is designed to protect. Designed to give the product made or the same manufacturer that runs the batch number can consist of, this is always written on Google. This is actually literally written on Google. It explains everything about the batch number is distributors for your home or theater, whatever we have for ours, penalty for violating a batch number, says right there in writing. So you violate one of these things and you go in and you say, hey, look, say we do batch numbers, we mix that stuff at 5 gallons at a time. So you know that. The biggest mistake people make, they think we make a 1 at a time. No, they're mixed in vats. So from 5 to 10 gallons, that's what they're mixed in. You've seen me do it on the machine multiple times. Yeah, so that's how they're mixed. And the place where we go to work at to do those orders. So that means that of a 5-gallon to 10-gallon container, you're claiming that you're the only one that got a defective, which is virtually impossible. If it was defective, this is the problem we would have from the door. Number one, since all our stuff is tested, we know what a defective would look like. We've tested our stuff on just about everything you can possibly think of, so we have tests backing up our claims. So, inside the container where we're making it, if there's anything that went wrong, it would never pass the batch number verification, because the batch number verifications reflect on the original testing on the product before it was shipped out. This is what I'm going to tell you. When you mess up with one of these, this is how badly screwed you are in a courtroom. So, that means that all testing that we did on this product, we know what happens if it sits next to black paint, black fabric, whatever. We know all this stuff at the net. What's going to, what the reaction is going to be, what the paint can do, what it can't do. We know all this stuff. When we do the batch number verifications, they reflect off the original test before the product was sold, which means if that product had any problems, we would have seen it in the batch number right there from the door. We would have saw it. You would have saw it because they're done YouTube live stream. All the tests are done YouTube live stream. That holds a ton of weight in a courtroom. So you go to the fair, they have a container of cherry Kool-Aid. Everybody gets cherry Kool-Aid out of the container. You're the only one complaining you got lemon. What are the odds if you win in that one in a courtroom? Ain't gonna happen, as you can see. You know, one of the things that they do when they do that verification, for us on our end, when we do the verification, we know at the end of the day, if it fails the verification, it's not going to pick up. Say the screen comes up black and it matches any of the black paint and fabric, we know from the door it's defective. Something's wrong with it because it's not supposed to do that. If none of the projectors pick up, they come up too dark and unwatchable. You can't see the screen. You can't see colors. The white levels fail. All that stuff that pops up that didn't pass, we know something's wrong with it. So we would know that first before anyone else because we designed it. So this is where you have your trouble in court. So they're going to go back, not only check our test, which we've done, but they're also going to test the batch number verification if we did them similar to the test that we did. We didn't do anything differently. They're also going to go back and check our PayPal account and see how many people complained. Because if that product was defective, number one, we would have a ton of complaints on it. We would have every single person that came out of that 5 to 10 gallons would have made a complaint back to us. And we don't get anybody at all. We just had the one person that's being the jerk. That's basically about it. On top of that, it would have never passed the first initial batch number verification. And then on top of that, we request you to ship the item back to test it again on the same test that we did on the verification that you just received. And people sometimes, they don't want to send the item back. They will fight us on this, and this lets us know you tampered with it. So that means that you see that violation right there that says $1 million? That's what you're facing in the courtroom, because that's what we're bringing to court for. We go to federal court, we file a $1 million lawsuit against you. And it says right there, it says, let's see, individuals we prosecuted in federal court, if found guilty, will be fined up to $1 million. This also includes criminal charges and civil lawsuits, significant fines. They may also subject to prison sentencing and have their access for committing fraud against a company. So you have your access seized, which means, yeah, you're done. That's how impossible it is to get around one of those things. We would see the defective. If it came through, we would see it. And since we were to turn around and challenge your company, you're done in that courtroom because we know you haven't done any testing whatsoever. You would never match the same energy we put out. You would turn around and slam with another lawsuit. Can't get around them. So the people who went and violated batch numbers, that's what they're facing in court. That's why I said don't get too attached to yourself. Let me see. Return and shipping. This is a ship back policy. So I'm going to try to use this. Can't use these right here. These are ours. All returns will be tested live by YouTube. Please note, any customer information will not be exposed in the process of test. Let's see. In test evaluation. It means all your information is blocked. We've done 2 of these. We had 2 customers. One guy came back and said the screen was too dark. You can tell it was black paint. We sent it back. We also ask you to take pictures of everything and send them to email so we can compare them to the test when we're doing the verification process. So a customer put black paint, we could tell it's black paint from the door. We did the same test on a lower projector. We never use your same projector. If you got a high-end projector, we choose something much lower, which we use Old Faithful over there, 600 by 800, 720p, 1000 projector, which is way lower than yours. We never use anything high-powered. That would be cheating. We use a high-powered machine. Knowing you're using a lower machine, we got an advantage point because we can do things with a high-powered machine that you can't do in yours. That's why we use Old Faithful at 1000 lumens, because she's out there, 600 by 800, 720p SVGA. So we use lower machines, much more light than you have in your environment when we do these tests, as we always do. All right. So let's see. Note returns can be exchanged for the same screen or same paint. We have exchange policy, which means some people are not ready for dark technology. They're not. If you be honest with us and admit that to us and say, hey, look, you know, I'm not ready for that dark screen yet. Because we put that information, don't buy it if you're not ready. It's right there. We do all the testing so you can see everything. It's right there. So anyway, that's why we do all that testing. Now, say you come back and say you're not ready for that yet, you still paid your money at the end of the day. So you paid your money at the end of the day, but we advise you not to. Do we have to do this? No, we don't have to do this. Very, we don't. Because the policy's right there. It tells you, don't buy this if you're not ready for it. But some people I meet, they're real nice people. At the end of the day, we send them out some silver. We send them a dark silver. We engineer, we design it, we send it out to them. And we basically, even though they might have used, send us back maybe half containers here and there, we send it, fill it all the way to the top, send it right back. That comes out of my own pocket, by the way, people. So it seems that we have a much better policy than what I've seen on eBay and any other place. But yet, we're the ones supposed to be the bad guys. Yeah. See, the reason why they make us the bad guy at the end of the day, because again, they want to continue ripping you off on products that they can't back up. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you why they can't back these products up, because we're taking them to court pretty soon. And they're going to have to back it up in a court of law that they followed all the guidelines to run a proper business, which means, gentlemen, we will be requesting business licenses also, too, in the process. There are documents they're going to request in that courtroom that you better have them. You're running a business, aren't you? We're expecting to see documents, a lot of documents. Let me see. Proven. Color, size, effect. That's the exchange policy right there. Blackout clause, tracking numbers, shipping costs and return, and please read early cancellation buyer's rewards policy, which is in there also too. And then there's more. There's more on the ship back policy. There's another one set right here. Ship back policy about people refusing to ship back the item. We've had that happen a couple of times. People fought the ship back policy. They didn't want to send it back. So you basically, we send you one of these letters out saying, hey, email. The email can be used against you in court. Saying, look, Your Honor, we use them in PayPal. That's why we win PayPal claims all the time. Because I'll sit there and say, look, we sent the ship back policy. What is the problem with you sending the product back to us to test YouTube live? What's the problem? I've heard dozens of excuses. Why? One guy said, I can't send it back. Why can't you send it back? Wrap it up, send it back to us. What's the problem? Fought is tooth and nail on this thing. Because you messed with it, that's what you did. That's why you can't send it back. Refuse to ship back request. If a customer refuses to ship back a request and continues to violate our company's products on their social media, on false accusations on our products without proof, will result to a legal action. Which means if we requested that back from you and you continue to do this, we sue you. And this lawsuit is much worse than the lawsuit at $1 million. These lawsuits can range from 5 to 10. They're up there. And the jail time is very heavy. They're 30-year prison sentences for each violation. And I got a lawyer at the end of the day that will come in and make sure that the judge fully understands and why this must proceed. So, the lesson of the day is that if you think I'm one of those guys at the end of the day, like these idiots that don't know what I'm doing and I'm this and blah, 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 you got the wrong individual at the end of the day. I'm not the one to play with. Enjoy the product. Those of you who are going to enjoy the product and be using it for what it's intended for, enjoy, have a ball with it. And for those of you out there at the end of the day thinking you're going to get over, I'm going to take everything you got, including your freedom. And when I get you in that courtroom, I guarantee you 100%, you're going to break down and cry in front of me. You will. It's not the first time I've seen it, and it won't be my last. I've had people beg me and cry in court. Too late now. We walk in that courtroom. It's just my money and time. We're in that courtroom. You've wasted my money and time, and I got to walk into a courtroom to take care of dumb nonsense. And I'm looking at you like the end of the day. Look at this idiot over here. Grown man at the end of the day. Probably got kids. Probably married. And then sitting in the courtroom wasting everybody's time because he don't know how to act like an adult. At that particular point, we're done with you. Whatever that judge will give you, we're taking it. And get you a year in jail, I'm happy with. Get you 2 years in jail, I'm happy with. 6 months in jail, I'm happy with. A day in jail, I'm happy with. You know why? Because that gives you a chance to realize that life is real. And it's time for you to grow up and stop playing games and act like an adult. You do dumb stuff, you're going to get dumb prizes. You do even dumber stuff, you're going to get a lot of dumb prizes. Some of those prizes can be permanent. Some prizes you can exchange back and get less time, and some are permanent you will keep for a very long time. So, enjoy the product. Don't do dumb stuff. You ever read through the policy that they have for EB Games? You ever read through that thing? I read through that whole thing. That's a big policy, by the way. EB Games, I read through that one. They had a policy about return policy and bootlegging and counterfeiting games way back in the day. This one was called Squaresoft, that one they have. People make, they have Ubisoft. Ubisoft has a huge, massive policy. You read through that contract? I read through it. Oh, it's quite interesting. It is. When you have time, read through your policy for your Xbox Live. Read through your policy for your PlayStation. Read through all of that. You'd be shocked at the end of the day. I remember we had a lawyer read through one of those things. The guy in the game was a lawyer. He was going to law school. He said, "You guys ever read through your policies?" And I was like, "Not really." He said, "Man, you might want to read through those things at the end of the day. They got some pretty crazy stuff in there." And I'm like, all right. Everybody's in the chat room pulling their policies up. And the lawyer is explaining to us the language we can't understand, because it's pretty much more of a legal term how they written it out, written it out, right? Written it out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, they can listen to conversations. If a conversation pops up, for once in a while, an admin can pop into your room and listen to chatter. And they're listening for keywords like, you know, people saying racial slurs or threats and stuff like that. So they're listening to stuff like that. But they do have a right to basically listen to your conversations. It's right in there, and I didn't believe that was actually in there. But that kind of freaked a lot of people out. Well, because technically, you're using their server. That's what you're using. You're connecting to their network, which gives them the right to do that. On PC, you can't do that because we're not connected to their server at all, period. We use Steam. Steam does have guidelines in there we do have to follow in there. But other than that, yeah, we just, I can get, it's a free account at the end of the day. But yeah, because you're connecting to their network, yeah. So you know what happens if you lose if your account gets banned through them, you can't get access to their server, you can't use any of their games or none whatsoever. Your system's completely useless without that, we had to use their network, you know, for Xbox or whatever it's used. So there's different policies in there that they can do certain things. Read through the eBay policy. eBay has a real good one too. Read through all that fine print. You'd be like, oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. Like, yeah, eBay has the right to terminate your store at any given time they want. They can terminate your store about anything they want. And nothing you can do about it. It's in their policy. People are so excited to get something. They don't read that. They read the big print. They never read that fine print. You gotta read that fine print. There's all kinds of stuff they hide in there. You got to read that fine print. If you don't understand it correctly, if you want to get a card in the day, don't be quick to sign something. You know what I mean? Get a copy of the policy, take it back, and have somebody read through that thing, or get an attorney read through it, because you'd be surprised what's in those things. You'd be surprised. Better sleep in the ball. But anyway, yeah, read through policies. I read through policies on everything. After I saw what happened, when I saw what read through my Xbox policy, I read through everything. Snow, snow, snow. But that's when I show you the shipping policy. Our shipping policy, I put all that information there, not only to protect us, but to protect our customers. And you're supposed to have an act of God in there. Anything happens, you're not responsible for that. Now, you got some customers that are fantastic. They're nice. They'll go, hey, you know, I ain't bothered by that. You know, who controls a tornado? These people, that's a fantastic customer. Then you got the mother customer, it's your fault. because you didn't put it in there, so it's your fault. How am I controlling a tornado at the end of the day? I don't care. You don't have it. Every chance they get, they'll try to figure a way to get around you. Anybody worked in the whole business of customer service, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. If you work in customer service, you know what I'm talking about. Yep. If you got first-hand, when you work in customer service and you never bumped into a jerk, you are one lucky person at the end of the day. You're one lucky person at the end of the day. If you ever work customer service and you never, ever bumped into one of those jerks, I want to shake your hand, because, man, you got it good, man. Everybody works in customer service bumps into the jerk. Everybody. Sometimes they come in pairs. Sometimes there's a family of them. But you do bump into them. You know what I'm talking about. It'll make a difference where you're working at. You could be at fast food restaurants. You could be working at convenience stores. You can work at a bank. Anywhere, you will bump into that jerk. Especially if you're basically in the business of serving food. Good gracious. You know, you get that particular group that come and you go, you know what? I can't deal with them right now. Can you do me a favor? Can you take that table? And you get that one person to come over there. This person don't care. You be smiling like, how can I help you? Yeah, go ahead and test me if you want. Yeah, you just have those people at the end of the day. They do. I don't know how people do telemarketing. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. Any form of telemarketing. Not like the services that call you over and over again. I'm talking about the ones that basically work for AT&T and big companies and stuff. And you sit there. A lot of people do it online now because, you know, it's a good job to have. I got a few friends of mine who work online. Every job has pros and cons. Every single one. They have it. No matter what. There's always the bad side and the good side. And the good side is you're home. You make good money and all that. You can work from home. The bad side is you got to deal with jerks. Probably a lot more. And that's why if I get in a situation where, especially with Amazon, so Amazon triggers me like there's no tomorrow. Amazon loses packages, all kinds of stuff they lose in line. And I got things to do and there's stuff missing. I'm like, oh my goodness, they're going to set me back. They're just going to wreck me on this one. I learned to calm down and remember, the person talking on the phone, it's not their fault. People get mad and they lash out at that person on the phone. It's not their fault. The person who's driving the Amazon truck that stuck your package on the side of a wall, somebody walked off with it, or basically just never came down to begin with, or put it in somebody else's box at the end of the day for them to give to you, even though you're not knowing that person, if they're your neighbor. I've had that happen to you before. That's not the person on the phone. If the person on the phone got nasty with you, then it's their fault. But people take it out on them. Any policy changes, they get hit with that. That's not their fault. That's corporate. That's the fat cats upstairs who started all that dumb nonsense. So that's not their fault. So just remember that when you come and scream at somebody at customer service, unless they're dishing that energy out too, but if not, and they're being polite to you, at the end of the day, they're just dealing with the crap of whatever corporation's doing up there that they know they're going to get hit with. And that's how I see it. Sometimes I have to calm myself down and I go, you know what, sir or ma'am? I apologize for my actions. This is not your fault. And sometimes if I get a little aggressive in my voice, I say to right from the door, don't take this the wrong way. It's not towards you, it's towards your company. You're doing a fantastic job. I'll make sure that's known. You're doing an incredible job, you're doing a good job. I'm a little frustrated, I am upset, but this is towards your company and not you. You have nothing to do with it. You're just doing your job. Thank you so much. People snap on in like they got control, like they're sitting up there with the corporates at the end of the day. So, you know, we're going to make this decision. We're just going to charge them more money for this, that, and the other. They got no control over that. That's the people up there. Would it be nice if you had a direct line to the people upstairs? That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Oh, man, one of the things that ticked me off about Amazon so bad, and to this day it still ticks me off. You might have gone through this experience yourself. Is that when you pay for Prime service, you pay for a few things. You pay for movies, because I get movies on Prime, and you pay for the shopping on Prime. But on Prime, the delivery also too comes with Prime, with that $14 you pay, or $17 or whatever you pay now. That's what you pay for the shipping. So the shipping between Prime and the United States Postal Service is different. So sometimes they ship it by FedEx, or sometimes UPS. But when you ship it by Amazon, you get that little icon truck that pops up. Say you're in this office, if I'm working late in here, after 6 o'clock, those doors lock. So that means that if they're trying to drop a package off, they can't. They can't go through the mail room and drop anything off because the doors are locked, which means they have to leave it outside. And if they leave it outside, this ain't like walking up on a porch and tucking it away. It's out in the open so everybody can see it, so anyone can walk up and take it. So, with that being said, I like Amazon because Amazon has that truck that pops up and says, hey, we're 6 steps away or 6 stops away. So that knows when we get down to 2, go outside, wait for the truck to get there, sign it off, and I got my package. But Amazon has been doing this nonsense lately. So they've been handing off their orders to other carriers. Let me get this straight. So you're a multi-billion-dollar industry. You mean to tell me you guys got your own airplanes, you got your own trucks, you got everything. I even seen an Amazon bike one point. You got everything. And you still have to drop off packages to the United States Post Office. Don't get me wrong, I love the United States Post Service at the end of the day. I do business with them, yes I do. But if I'm paying for Prime, if I'm paying for something you're taking out of my debit card or credit card every freaking month, I deserve to get a chance to use the perks that come with it. And one of the perks that comes with it is your shipping. And when the package comes in, I expect to see saying, hey, it's delivered by Amazon driver. I got 6 steps away. This is when the package is going to be here. Not by coming by United States Postal Service, and this package coming out of nowhere. And I'm looking at it like, where's my package? And it says it was delivered. Now, you know one of the perks about Amazon when they deliver a package, right? They take a picture of it. So at least, if you know, if the package is there somewhere, you know where it's at, because there's a picture of it showing where the package is at, where they left it at. The post office doesn't do that. They don't leave a picture there. So with that being said, now I got to turn to Inspector Gadget and try to figure out where my package just went to. And I'm checking the tracking number and I find out, oh, they sent it by United States Postal Service. So number 1, never knew the truck was coming down. Number 2, there's no pictures of it knowing where they put it at, or the last place they could have put it at, not there. But I paid for that service, and I had the argument like, but I paid for the service. This is Prime. I paid for something by Prime. I should get it by Prime. Now, technically, if you pay for something and it doesn't say Prime, I mean, it's going to by a third-party carrier. That's what that means. It goes by a third-party carrier. If it doesn't say it's shipped by Prime. But if it does say it's shipped by Prime, it's supposed to come by the Prime truck with the little truck icon and with the picture showing where your item is at. Now, the good thing about this, about Amazon at the end of the day, they will replace your item. They will put the money back in your account. But it takes somewhere between 5 to 6 days before the money transfers back into your account, which means you're going to take extra money out of your account to pay for the item that you need for work, which I had to do all the time. And the problem we have here, if I have a CPU or a PC over here, I got a build and I ordered a CPU from them or a motherboard, which happened multiple times in demonstrations, and the motherboard doesn't get here, that sets me back. I don't care if you put the money back on my account. I need the item. I couldn't care less about the money. I need the freaking item to finish the job that I need to use to produce for the screen paint. Nope. If I had that conversation, that's the thing. Oh, Mr. Berg, did you read the policy correctly? I read the policy correctly. I've been with you guys for 15 years. What the frick are you talking about? I know your policy better than you. Let me ask you a question. How long have you been on the show? I got a guy who was real nasty if you want to talk to him. Mr. Berg, you don't know what you're talking about. And we know our policy, blah, blah, blah. Let me ask you a question. How long have you been on this job? You'll say you've been on the job 3 years. I've had my Prime account before you started your job. I think I would know the policy much better than you. Do me a favor. Give me a supervisor. Ask for a supervisor. Ask for a supervisor. Supervisor will sit there and you'll have the conversation with them. If you're polite with the supervisor is a very nice person. I've talked to lots of them over there. And the supervisor will turn around and not only have reorder the item for you, but reimburse you for the order. So I get the order sent, I get my money back on my account plus the order. Got no business. Some people don't know the rights when it comes to ordering stuff. Yep, money back on my account. I paid $70, they put that $70 right back on my account and send me the item. On top of that, I've been a Prime member for like almost 15 years. Oh, it's 15 years now. 15 years. But yeah, that's what they do. Sent it to another carrier. I'm like, are you kidding me? Let me get some beautiful oceans. Oh, they certifies next. I'm happy about that. The certifies. All right, gotta get this thing. This is for fun. We do this for fun. This is all for fun, people. Fun. For fun. I can't wait to get a motorized projection screen. I'm gonna blast over that thing so fast. Make some fish in here. Give me a cheap. I want a cheap one too. If I can get a $50 one, I'd be happy. I want a really cheap motorized projection screen, and I'm gonna upgrade it. So let's get something much more here. Let's get something. But that's why we have all that up there at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You know, people want to say that, oh, you just coming after people. No, you do dumb stuff, you're gonna get in trouble. So you go to rob a bank, you're gonna get in trouble. It's common sense at the end of the day. You bootleg somebody's stuff at the end of the day, you're gonna get in trouble. And so people do the dumbest stuff. The guys sitting there, you know, you go to those stands and people are selling things at flea markets and stuff. You know, some of the companies have representatives that walk around there to see if someone's out there making their stuff. Did you know that? They'll take a picture of stuff and buy a couple things from them. Like, well, you know, I was looking for something like this. Me and the wife, we were just hoping to get some matching outfits. I can get it cheaper from you. How often do you get these in? You're talking to a guy the whole entire time that works for their company. I'll get these in, you know, blah, blah, blah. That's fantastic. So and so and so. All right. You'll get your information in no time at all. They'll figure exactly where you live at and everything. You get a letter in the mail saying you're being sued by Nike. You go to court, you'll see all your stuff right there. Right there. Or, even worse, they're just calling in to say, hey, look, we got proof 100% that somebody's over here bootlegging our stuff and selling our stuff. And they can have officers out there, no time at all, and gather up all your evidence and get you locked up right on the spot. That's why you never know who's coming down to your table. And the biggest mistake people make is when they have those markets and flea markets and whatever shows are happening in the day, they make that mistake of thinking that what are the odds of one of their people being down here? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. That's why a lot of these places now, when you go in and sell stuff, they want all your paperwork to make sure that whatever you're selling is not against the law. Because that puts a bad name on the flea market, whoever's basically doing the marketing or whatever they're doing for the flea market to have you go in there. It's really bad. So, yeah. Alright, let me see. Right, shortage in this now. Let's have stickers on here. Stick me this, stick me that. But yeah, it's an anniversary cube on it. Anniversary cube. I thought it'd be cool to put one on there. It's the story of my life. Always running out of stuff. And then later on, oh yeah, I found the other stuff I was needing too. Looking for that and found it. Yeah, that policy, yep. We back up everything in that policy. No shipping policy. And on top of that, I was just thinking of ways of how we can do better for the customer and having that policy in there and help them out. Now I'm going to update the policy a little bit more. Gotta go in and do that today. All that nonsense about the land's on your property, you're stuck with it, and all that crap at the end of the day, no. First things first, PayPal's not going to honor it. They're not. That's going to make you lose your case even faster because PayPal's going to see your point shenanigans at the end of the day. So they're not going to honor it. Nobody's going to honor that. There's no forgiveness room for the customers. No way out for them in any way whatsoever. And the reason why it's in there when it says no exchange at all, because what are you going to exchange it for? The same product's going to do the exact same thing again. So he already knows that from the door. That's why he put the policy in there like that. Because he already knows that anything he gives you is still going to have the same problem. It's going right back to square one. On top of that, it's going to cost him money. It's going to cost him money for the item to get there. He's got to reimburse the customer for the item getting there. You know, you do ship the item back, right? When we send it back, we reimburse you on the ship back. So we send you the money back. So, yeah, you got to reimburse them, and then you got to ship it out yourself, right? So that's a cool, maybe about 30, 40 bucks right there. So, yeah. So if you're barely making money on the product, ooh, found one. I found 3 of them, yay! If you basically are making, like, and I calculated that. That's one of the things you have to do in business. When you're doing business, you have to calculate exactly what are you going to make, what are you going to gross. Because again, you could be working for nothing, absolutely nothing, but all that working for nothing. And that's pretty much what they were doing. 60 bucks. You can't, the only way you're going to make money off of any kind of paint for 60 bucks, you got to sell quantities. That's the only way. There's several nightmares that can come up in business. A lot of nightmares. Like, you have people who sell t-shirts, right? You sell t-shirts. Maybe you sell them for like 15, 16 bucks a piece, and you got to calculate the shipping costs and all the stuff you pay for and products and all that stuff and how much you have left over what you gross. Including the taxes and whatever else you got to pay for. So you got to consider that altogether, how much you actually going to have. Not how much you're going to be making, how much you actually have left after you pay all expenses. All right? So, in order you to make a certain amount of money to be able to pay rent, pay bills, and everything you have to keep your establishment rolling, or if you're doing this from home, which is even better because your overhead really isn't there, you're still going to have to make a certain amount of money in order to keep the business flowing. Because you got to buy new products, you got to invest in stuff. At the end of the day, invest in machines, invest in printing equipment, invest in labels. It's an investment. You put extra money to put money back into it. So, you have to make a certain amount. You have to be able to make a certain amount where you're pulling 30% back to yourself, 40% back to yourself, 90% is extremely good if you're pulling it back to yourself. If you're designing a product, one of the things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to show tons of testing on the product to show the product is worth its weight in gold. Only way you're going to make $300, $400, $500 for a container of paint, you have to show massive testing. You have to show testing against certified. You have to go into these form sites. People have to know your product is out there. You go any place, our stuff pops up everywhere. I was in there looking at something and I saw my pictures pop up on the Google form site. My stuff pops up everywhere. And that's from all the testing. That's why you see 10, 20 videos, something like that crazy a day, because all that testing will push the back product up. I had people apply for me and say, hey, the reason why we bought from you, because you're consistent. You're always out there. Demonstration. They're always changing. You're always doing something crazy. You're doing this, you're doing that. You're persistent. You are passionate about your work. That's why people buy. But again, you have to be to back it up. You have to know the worth. The first thing of all things, you have to know the worth of your product. What is your product worth? Do you feel it's worth that kind of money? Can you prove it's worth that kind of money? You're going to have to do that. Knocking out $7,000 screens, $5,000 screens, $3,000 screens, having companies or these organizations contact us. I've met most of these people in these big fields already. They know exactly who I am. They know exactly what we do. And you can ruffle the feathers or get their attention at the end of the day, you're definitely in the right direction. So when you can take out a screen that costs $5,000, $7,000, people buy from you in a hot second. I can go to form sites right now. I can go up there with the big boy screens, physical screens versus screen prints, and I can go there and get any one of them to buy my technology. Can you do that? Can you beat a diamond? Black diamond screen. It's very superior technology. Can you beat that? You couldn't even operate in the environment that screen sits in. How can you convince somebody who has pockets to drop 20 grand on a screen? How can you get them to convince to spend 60 bucks for your product? You can't. Because even they test great paint at the end of the day, and they know you can't compare to them. You're going to have to prove that. But anyway, so you're going to have to figure out your worth of your product. Now, if you're selling products like $60, once you take out the money for what it costs to make it, you're lucky if you roughly come off with maybe $7-8. That's it. Mind you, black paint, if you're buying a quart of it, $17. If you're buying white paint to mix with that, maybe you might get it for $23. That's $30 right there. Then you're going to have to buy containers. You're going to have to buy, God forbid, if your ink blows out on your printer, if you haven't saved any money, put your money aside, you're going to have to pay for ink, you're going to have to pay for all the things you'll need. That's going to add up. And you still got to ship the item out if you're shipping it for free. So that could cost you around $17 or $18 to ship it out. And if you do buy the envelopes, cost that a little bit more money. So you have to pay for that too. So all in all, you're lucky if you call for let's say $14. That's all you have left over. It's not enough money to do nothing at all, period. That's $14, that's it. So in order for you to make your money, you're going to have to sell quantities of these. So say you sell 60 of them, right? You sell 60 of these, you'll make good money. You'll make some money for that. You sell 50 of them, you make some money. And the more you sell in quantity, the more money you make. Same thing like the t-shirt or the bow ties. You get a bow tie, nice one, people like it, you know what I mean? It's popular, it's about $4, right? You figure that your percentage cost on how you make these, if you make them yourself a lot cheaper, you're going to save more money to yourself. If you have to buy from somebody else, you got to buy from a middleman. It's going to cost you a little bit more money. But if you make them yourself, that means your overhead is really, really cheap. So you may take a good percentage back to yourself. But in order for you to make any money off this $3 bow tie or $4 bow tie, you're going to have to sell quantities of them, which means you have to sell thousands of them in order to make your mark to run your business successfully. They don't know business. But if you sell a product that's worth its weight in gold, let's say it's a product like we're doing the technology on those panels order. One of those panels, depends on what we have, before them is $1,600. How much money out of $1,600 would it cost me to design that panel? So if you got it to a point where you can make 80% back to yourself, you're doing extremely good. And you find that your shipping costs to get that from A to B is cheap, that's going to put more money back in your pocket. Let's say altogether, roughly after our expenses, out of $1,600, we only have to pay $200 to get that package tested, designed, do what it's supposed to do, ship it from A to B. Only costs us $200. That means we bring $1,400 back to ourselves. After all expenses are paid, we bring $1,400. And if we bring $1,300, that's still good. So at $1,300, and we sell 5 of those. That's what we make in a day. But in order to be able to get that kind of money, you're going to have to prove that that technology does exactly what it's designed to do. You have to put its weight in gold. Which means you're going to have to show tons of testing, demonstrations on levels that normal screens don't operate in order to get your product on that level. Look at the Lamborghini. Look at the Bugatti. Is that the same thing as a Honda? It isn't. It's a totally different machine, right? That machine is designed to do things that your everyday car couldn't even imagine even dream of doing. The power that machine possesses, you would never be to see that in your car. It's a different class of machinery. It's a different class of machinery that requires a lot more money to have. So they can get that money for it because that machine has that ability. Now, let's say they were printing out all the parts, right? It's legit, but they're printing out all the parts now. That means their overhead drops. Say they don't have a big factory, they've got a small factory. That overhead drops some more. It means they keep more money back to themselves. You got to build capital first. Once you establish capital, you start small. And even though you are growing and building, you still keep it small. Don't expand. You expand, you're spending more money than you're making at the end of the day. Keep it at a small level. You keep it at a small level and you start to expand, you're making tons of capital, which will allow you now to be able, as you hit a certain peak, where you're making that serious money, then you can expand a little bit here and there. This is what happens to corporations. Corporations get a little bit of money. They start with one store, then they get another store, and then they borrow money from the bank and get another one, and another one, and another, and they stretch themselves too thin. In business, there's a time where things will drop, and things will start to go downward in a spiral, and you have to survive those ups and downs that you will go through, that fluctuation. Some of them go farther down, and you can lose a lot of business. But if you owe money to the bank, that's payments you have to make back, which means now your business is going to start hemorrhaging because you don't have the money to support it because you spread yourself too thin. And this is how people go into Chapter 11. I study economics. You know, all that stuff I like to study. I study business, I study economics. That's how I know all this stuff. There's more than just mixing paint in little buckets at the end of the day and going, "Hola, we got money, ba, ba." You got to understand the business half of it. You don't understand the business half of it, you don't know what you know. That's why I look at Williams and I look at Danny could pick it up. I say he could pick it up. He seems a little bit more intellectual than him. He lies a lot. He does. He doesn't back up, but still, keep in mind, he's smarter than those two. Definitely. So, business-wise, he can understand the part of it. He can understand that quite well. But the other part, he does lie too much about what he can do and what he don't. Forget it. We'll give him credit on that one. Those two don't understand jack when it comes to that part of business. No. So, that's one of the issues you have. Now, if you're doing it by yourself, mind you, don't rush it to get the big company contract yet, because mind you, if you get the big company contract, now you have bit off more than you can chew. You know why? Because the company is going to expect you to put out large quantity orders. Now, you'll make a lot of money, but you got to put out large quantity orders. And keep in mind, you're going to have the manpower, you're going to have the facilities, and you're going to have the machinery to run all that. Where are you going to get $500,000 on a machine to process paint? And that's what they run for. And there's a machine that takes the paint from a batch system, pushes it into a process system. The process system shoots the paint into these individual containers. The individual container has another machine that comes down and presses the container, locks it in. Goes to another machine that wraps the seal around it, and then it basically has another people take it off that and put it on a pallet. Once they put it on the pallet, they put that wrapper around the wrap that rolls around it, seals up, take it to a fork truck, and they load it on the truck. I watched the whole process on how they do it. But that machine is very, very expensive. You can get a loan from the bank for it, but the bank might not give you that loan. They might not want to give it to you because you're in a business, you may fail, it's a lot of money to give you, and you don't really have enough collateral at the end of the day, so no. So how would you do that? You don't. You keep it small. And you can go to the bank and say, hey, look, I have this many sales, I've been around this long, I had these contracts, blah, 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 blah. You have it no time at all. But I don't borrow from banks anyway, I don't trust them. So what happens with most people, what they go through is the bow ties. Like this guy, you're going to have to sell a lot of them in order to make a profit. You make a few dollars, 20, 30, 100 bucks here and there if you do it by yourself. You know, take your time, too slow. But some people get excited. They go on to get a big contract from Macy's or something, and Macy's, okay, look, we like your item. Here's the thing. We need to know if you can process a large order. So we're going to do a test. We're going to ask you for 80,000 bow ties. People do this all the time. Don't take that deal. Explain to them at the end of the day that I am not ready for something like that yet. But it'd be nice if you can keep the offer on the table for me, because right now I don't have the manpower to do this. And once I do have the manpower, I'll definitely get back with you. Now, they want the bow tie. If they didn't want it, they would have never offered you the deal to begin with. They do want it. And by doing it that way, they make an offer. Okay, yeah, we can work out a deal. Okay, how about this? We give you one of our facilities, processes, but you're going to have to pay us a rent out of what we give you. Be honest about it. Some people get that pride set and go, you know, I'll take that. Now you're stuck with 80,000, and you got the money already in your account. You spent some of it already for product to make it. If you can't make it, you have to give all that money back, which means you don't lose money in the process because you got to pay money back you don't have. So in order for him to make a profit at 60 bucks, he's got to sell quantities, large quantities of them to make that money back. He's not making 60 bucks. That's virtually impossible. I had this conversation one time. He ranted about how he had 15 orders that went through. And 15 orders, he made something like $1,500, or he said how much he made. You didn't make $1,500 at all, period. You still got to pay for your items. You still got to pay for cans and containers. That's a large order. You have to pay for a lot of stuff. So whatever you're left over is what you made. And then if you pay for all the other things and other expenses and things you have to pay for business and the other, which have to be paid for, that's what you're left over with. That's what you make. No one sits there and says, oh, I sold a house and got it for $50,000 and I grossed $50,000. No, you made $50,000. You're not going to keep $50,000. You got expenses to pay off on that thing. So whatever you have left over is what yours at the end of the day. That's what's yours. Amateurs. Freaking amateurs. Freaking amateurs. What message is that? Ugh. And I learned that nonsense when I started my first job. I learned that my first job. When I had my first job working at Pizza Hut. I learned that. My mom had to explain it to me. Said, no, you don't make that. You're going to take out money for taxes and all kinds of stuff. Going to take out whatever they left over from that. That's what you get. That's yours. I was like, dang. So yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works. That's what you get. Ooh, shit, that's another one. Yep, that's what you get. Now, I had fun with my screen over here. You know, getting to my talks and all that stuff I like to do. Eat my Goya crackers, which I'm addicted to these things. I like the Goya crackers. These are much better than sweet potato chips. And I'm going to get my surface up there, have a little fun. My dark surface. Well, down the wrong side. There we go. Dark surface. As soon as I find my scissors, I just found the stickies. Oh, scissors are right up there. Got no business. Got no business. Some people, like I said, it's more than just going in and just mixing some products together. You have to know business. You have to study economics. You have to know it. That's why the first thing you go out and you do, if you're buying your products, you don't want to buy your products from a store that's going to cost you money. You get yourself a business tax wholesale license. That's what you apply for. And that will allow you to be able to buy your products wholesale. There's a couple places I can show you right now how you can make money easily. There was a store called Petro. I got to track them down. Petro sells everything from home theater equipment, the whole 9 yards, everything you could think of, wholesale. I found out about them because a buddy of mine had an electronics store he was starting. They're all this stuff in there. This is mine since way back. Back then we had the 5-disc player, DVD player, remember those? But anyway, had all this stuff in here. I'm like, yo, how the heck are you getting all this stuff for cheap? He said, oh, I got this company called Petro. I said, can I get one of the catalogs? He gave me the catalog. He said, but I'll let you know you can't buy it, you can't get it without a business tax wholesale ID license. So I was like, okay, they're free. I don't know if they are now, but they're free when I was coming up. So basically, I tracked down and figured out you have to go to the IRS to get them. I went to the IRS building, which used to be on Spring Garden in North Philadelphia, and I went there and I got myself a license. Got myself the name of the company, named myself a company. I think it was some Superior. Something, whatever it was. Superior Merchant, that's what it was. Anyway, I got myself a license and everything, filled all the information on it, and in about a couple of weeks or so, I got me this little thing, mail, and basically opened up and had my number on top of it, my business tax ID number. That's all I needed, the little number, a serial number. So, from there, I contacted Petro, and I emailed over my number. I filled out their application, emailed over my tax ID number, and they sent me back this special catalog. And in that special catalog had the prices that you pay for wholesale. The stuff that we pay for when you go to freaking Walmart and stuff like that, they have to go somewhere and get it for cheaper. That's the only way they can sell it to you. I found that spot that allows me to get stuff for super, super cheap, and I don't spend all this money. So I wasn't selling anything. I was just using it to furnish my place. I just figured out how to use a business license and just business wholesale license to go and buy things that I want. So the somebody going there spending $1,500 for a sofa, I can get it for maybe $300-400. And here's the thing, because no money was exchanging hands, that's why. So one of them is called Dollar Days. If you got kids, Dollar Days is fantastic. If you don't have kids, it's still fantastic. Let's see, we can track it down. It might be still around. Petro to look up. I send this to people who want to make a little money. Dollar Days. Dollar Days. They sell bulks and bulks of clothing, t-shirts, you name it. Take your time, look through it. You ever heard of them before? Dollar Days. So Dollar Days basically is a wholesale that sells everything from sneakers, clothing, camping gear, you name it, it's there. Back to school uniforms, polo, all that stuff, everything is all in there. Yep. Want to make your own t-shirts and all that stuff, don't want to pay a lot of money? Boom, go here. Matter of fact, I need to get some t-shirts too. See on my channel how we help you out, how we show you how to make money. Now, they do require a business tax wholesale license, which is very easy to obtain. You don't need an LLC or DBA or that stuff whatsoever, none of that, period. And it's very easy to apply for. They will require your social security number, by the way. You will have to have that. All right, so you can sell shoes, clothing, personal care, hardware and outdoor. I got to take a look. I can get some of this stuff for adding free stuff for my customers. Baby stuff, school and office, toys and games, accessories. You got electronics, you got travel bags, groceries. Yeah, you can buy food from here, have it shipped to you. Pet supplies. Ugh. Taco. I got some stuff to hook you up with. I haven't been here in a while, so this is why I come out buying my stuff from time to time. What do we got here in we got electronics. Let's see. Keyboard bundle. And they're units. You can buy units. Bulks of these babies. Bulks. I guess they upgraded again. I haven't been here in a while, but they upgraded a little bit in here. Oh, actually a lot. Ooh, I like these. I want one of these. They would charge me freaking like $40 for these suckers. They want $11.03 a unit. Yeah, you can sell us and make a bundle. Now, the thing about it is, once you figure out, I was trying to help my nieces, Gen Z, part of my family, teach them how to run a business, how to do it, how to set a nice little business up. Very easy to do. Now, what I go, like I said, I would sell on eBay, because eBay has traffic that can come to you. They'll set you up with eBay, will set you up with traffic. Were you on permanent on eBay? No, you're on permanent eBay. Use eBay's traffic to redirect it to your website. You know what? Next time I'm going to teach you a little seminar on how to run a business. But we'll get around that later. I got work to do. I got my own company I got to run. See, my friend who got the nail salon, that's the one who came to me and asked me how to run her business, how to set everything up, and told her what to do, and she owns 4 stores. Because I know a lot of stuff. I'm a paperwork junkie. I know all these little stores at the end of the day, that I did all this research, how to get video games, all kinds of stuff for super cheap with a wholesale license. Those rope lights we're getting at the end of the day, I don't pay full price for them. I got a wholesale license. I don't get those. I know exactly where you get those lights at for a reasonable price. And we give them away for free. Blackout cloths, all that stuff, all for free, because we get it for wholesale. Business tax ID license. One year we gave away 3 air sprayers for free. We got them wholesale. I use the same thing I use most of my getting projectors. We're giving projectors, buy those projectors and stuff. Yeah. Gotta know where to buy. Where to go to. Gotta know where to go. Know where to go. Know where to hold them. When the deal is done, you better count your money. Every time when I count when the deal is done. Does Kenny listen to everything? Yeah, I listen to country too. I love country music. I learned the line dance with a bunch of friends. Country people are interesting. They're fun. They are. They're fun people. Once we're out there, usual, out there having our fun. And a little country little bar they had. I don't drink, but they had line dancing in there and mechanical bull in there. They were doing the line dancing, and a woman said, "Come on, dance with us." And I was like, "I don't know how to dance." It's easy, I'll teach you. Taught me how to line dance. Coolest people on the face of the planet. Let me tell you something. Some of my buddies didn't want to go into a country bar because everybody in there would be all racist, rednecks in there. That's what they thought they would be. You can't judge people that way. You can't. You will meet some of the coolest people. Everybody in their, whether they be in their country, whether they will be in their state, whether it be in the community, you will have jerks. That's it. Can't blame the nice people for the jerks. I met some of the coolest people in this business on the face of the planet. Some very nice people from all different races and countries and whatever. I've met some very nice people. You can't say because You know who over in California? He's Mexican because the stuff crimes he's committed against our company and our families over here is considered to blame all Mexicans. No, you don't do that. You're crazy. It's stupid. That makes you just as ignorant as a person who basically committed the crime against you. No, you don't judge entire races. I've seen people judge entire races like black people. You don't judge all black people to be the same. All black people this and all black people that. Blah, 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 blah. They all play basketball. I don't play basketball. I play some ball, but I play hockey. I'm a hockey player. So you can't do that. All black people listen to rap music. I listen to just about everything you could possibly think. I listen to classical, jazz, whatever. Yeah, the stereotype nonsense. And white people go through it, and all different races all go through that stereotype nonsense. And every race of people, we all got jerks we got to deal with. We can all agree on that. We got to deal with the jerks. And the jerks make our race look bad. That's the problem. You know what I mean? We get pulled into that stereotype nonsense because the jerks make us so bad. Now, there's nothing wrong about black people playing basketball and all that. That's fantastic and all. But when you're saying that all black people are nothing, you can't trust them, they're thieves, they will stick you up and rob you and blah, 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 blah. You're adding this in with the others. There you go. Or to say that all white people are racist against black. No. I got tons of white friends at the end of the day. As a matter of fact, I had white friends when I was over in freaking my childhood friends. They were white. I gotta learn how to do half of the crazy stuff you could ever think of on the face of the planet. Hanging around with them guys at the end of the day. Like, hey, you want to jump out of a plane? Like, yeah, why not? You want to go snowboarding? Why not? You want to go to Mardi Gras? Why not? Hanging around with them guys is some pretty cool stuff. You learn something new from every different race. But everybody in every race has jerks. We all have jerks in every freaking race. I got white friends of mine. If somebody called me the N-word, they're madder than I am. And them bishops, they were madder than me. I gotta calm them down at the end of that. I'm the one that got called the N-word. I gotta calm them down. They're ready to lose it. They're ready to go to jail. I'm like, man, you gotta calm down, man. Just calm it down. How can you be so calm? They're really upset over that. They don't like that. So, yeah. You can't say that. Forget. Everybody has jerks. Him, he's a jerk to his own race. He's a jerk. He's definitely a jerk. I got people who watch his channel. They're Mexican. They're like, he's a jerk. They don't like him. Make them look bad. How many of you want to do these? We got 3 of these. We want to do all 3 at the same time. Alright, we'll do all 3 at the same time. I'll set it up for the video demonstration. I'm hanging around with the country boy. Country boys are hilarious, man. I have a lot of fun with them. You can learn a lot. Be quiet. You can learn a lot from everybody. Okay, from everybody. Never judge a book by its cover. You always learn something from somebody. You don't know everything. Alright, so always go through life with a half glass, sometimes less, because you never know exactly what you can learn. I've learned some of those interesting things from people at the end of the day. I got all types of friends from all different kinds of color and creed at the end of the day. I don't see white, I don't see color, I see my equal. That's what I see. I don't see color for the day. I see all my equal. That's my brother across the street. No matter what color he is, he's still my brother at the end of the day. Okay, let's put this up here. First things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. Who are you? Let's just let cat get man out. Be out of here now. Now. Don't do anything weird. I don't know whether you know about the demonstration. You're thinking like, I'm going out there and basically clean yourself. Where do you care? Yeah, you're going to wait. That's what you're going to do. You're going to wait. I'm doing this right now. You can wait. Give me a minute. You'll be out of there. You need to wait. Don't get impatient with me. You know better than that. Cut it out and behave. I know your tensions sometimes. You do some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen. Cats. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm like humans. I'm alright. Anyway. I've had people invite me down to go down to, oh, Scott was going to invite me down to go down to, and I lost contact with him. That swamp with the fan boats in the back and everything for fishing for gator. I met some very, I was going to turn it, oh, heck no. That's the experience, man. I've never been on one of them pontoon boats before. I've never even went hunting for gator, ever. And I know they're what they call it, the gumbo. I know they make amazing gumbo. Man, yes, heck yeah. So that's why I said my friends were afraid to go in there because they figured they wouldn't like them because they're African American. I said, man, we're going in, man. I mean, they're probably the nicest people on the face of the planet, and they were. Best people I met in my entire life. And I got a chance to get on a mechanical bull. I didn't last long though. But I did was on a mechanical bull and went, oh, it's gonna come down. It's gonna fight me. Why are you fighting me? Let's do this. Come on, we got things to do. We got things to do. Stay up here. Stay up there. We got things to do. Alright, so we got 3 high-grade surfaces up here. Hopefully, they stay up here. We don't have any problems with them not going to stay up here, but hopefully they stay up. And I told you at the end of the day, it had to be to show your product's worth. People know that home theater is an expensive hobby. It is. It can be an expensive hobby. But you're going to have to be able to show at the end of the day why your product is worth that money at the end of the day. As I told you before, for what our stuff does, we can get a whole lot more, but we don't. Trying to make it so everybody can afford. These are all 3 certified screens. You don't see them, do you? Yeah, black technology, something else. Watch this. So those screens up there, those gray screens, they're not going to cost you $1,500. They're going to cost you a little bit more than that. They're not cheap. These are all daylight screens up there, and they are expensive. The one on the far end costs about $5 to $7 grand. So that's not going to cost you $300. That's definitely not going to cost you $300. You're talking about $1,000 or more for what these screens are going to probably cost you, and that one over there is going to cost you about $5 to $7. Red screen. I'm just going to give you print screen. Red screen. Sheesh. Where they're all the way over. Good. All right, so we're going to come back in, put down daylights, dark screens, and high performance screens versus our technology here. So we're going to do this, get this done. This is my last one I got to do. I did say this last one for fun. We're going to have fun with this. We're going to pour all lights on it here. For that, good people. Used to be in one environments. There we go. Now, see the difference now? Can't hide in the dark. You know, again, the lighting we have in here is abnormal. So you can survive in here. You can survive. You're doing pretty good. These are dark gray screens that are going against the technology now, plus the high grade certified. All right, we'll be back in to do this demonstration and move on. I got to post this directly to the link inside of the shopping carts. Got to go. Thank you and God bless.